What is up, guys? Cedar B here, and today we get to talk about my favorite attack, TDH. Um, I have been waiting to put this video up for a while. I wanted to get three replays of TDH in wars, whether league or regular play against decent war bases. And I finally came up with that tonight. And it's a Friday. I figure, why not go ahead and do it? I've had a beer or two. This should be fun. So if you guys want to learn about TDH, all those attackers that think this attack might be too complex, too tricky, I have had so much failure with this attack. Back when I was in OH, two of these replays are in OH, and I'm sorry that the video is paused, but just want to get a couple of things out of the way. I was in OH. I struggled immensely with this attack. I went by with a week, I think, with it at least, or a few days, however much, enough to get to the point where I was just completely frustrated with it, threw it aside. Said, screw this, I got other things to worry about, let me focus on hogs, let me focus on ground, better ground attacker. Then it got to me that I said, I'm not going to let this attack, I'm not going to not be able to do this attack, because I know I can do this attack, and I'm going to figure it out. And I set out on a mission, and for months, and even to this day, TDH is the only attack I attack with in just regular farming matches. I just going for trophies at this point because I'm maxed, etc. But this attack is so strong and so powerful, and 90% of the time my attack log is full of 3 stars just from TDH. The same exact army. It is so powerful. So I want to help those who are struggling with this attack to get it down. And today, I hope I can do that with these 3 replays. So this first one is going to be a Queen Charge TDH, and all of these are recorded. So we're just going to kind of talk through this. For this attack, I obviously, with a Queen Charge, I wanted to just get her straight into that compartment where the gold storage is, right in front of that air D. I wanted to get that one out of the way first, and wanted to hopefully break into that compartment. So both the wizards go on the outside, and notice in all of these attacks I will be showing you, my king is not used to funnel. That is a huge mistake that I see with most TDH attacks, is using the king to funnel, even in any king or queen walk. And this was, most recently, well, just with the amount of queen walks that I've been doing recently, Messiah was the one that pointed it out to me, that your king shouldn't be used to funnel. Since he informed me of that, it has been the most beneficial tip that I can give you for TDH, and that is without a lie. It is extremely powerful. Notice how I've used the queen and 2 wizards to get all the way into this base. 3 rages have been used, but I have 30% of the base, 2 air defenses, and I'm going to be getting both the expos. And now I bring in my king wizard Kiwi up from 3 o'clock, and I want it to work south. I want it to get both of those wizard towers. That's better value coming in from that side with the Kiwi to get both those wizard towers, and have my Lalo portion start from about 10 or 9 to 11 o'clock. Both of the lava hounds were directed over paths where my loons would be, and the loons were also pathed over where my minions would be. One of the biggest things with TDH, people say generally go for splash defense, and that is generally true. But in all of these replays, you will also see that the orientation of the air defenses lends a perfect direction for the Lalo to meet up not only with the Kiwi in this example, but the Queen and also in this example, and you'll see the rest of the others. So let's move on to the next one. This was against 3 of Valor, and this is another TDH charge. Take a sip of beer. And in this one, when I initially went with this, I believe, I knew my queen was going to walk left. I just did not know where she was going to break in. Along with using the king not to funnel and using it, and I didn't explain that in the last replay we watched, but using your king to cut the funnel for where you want your queen to go into the base is the best. Hey guys, I will tell you, I have done so many fails. I am not kidding you. 80% of the time, she will not go into that first compartment or the second compartment, and even sometimes the third compartment. Do not try and wall break in until you know for sure where those wall breakers will be going. As you can see, I've cleared 3 compartments, and I have not dropped a single wall breaker. There goes my first 3. I should have just dropped 1 initially, but I got a little wall breaker happy. Luckily, I didn't wall breaker fail. But I'm able to keep both or all 4 of my healers up, and at this point, I bring another 2, 3 wall breakers in. They're going to break into that compartment, and I have almost, or I have 40% of the base taken out. My Lalo portion starts, and when my queen took out that last air defense, or the third air defense, notice that the orientation of them lended a perfect direction for my Lalo to go. And now that she got them down, now it's just that 1 air defense, and I have a lava, 1 popped, the max lava, or the CC hound popped. I have 1 more lava. Have to get to through those wizard towers, but they should lend enough tanking for my minions to get through. And another important mention on TDH is do not underemphasize your minions. Notice on all of these attacks I'm bringing 12 balloons. If I'm incorrect by a couple of balloons, I apologize, but 12 is generally what I bring. 18 minions, 6 wizards. That lends 2 wizards at the max to funnel, 4 for my Kiwi, and generally a lot of minions to bring in the back end, and I can even spare a couple to cut, outlying trash, like you will see in this next attack. This is probably the most powerful example I can show you, and in my kind of sense, this is more purist TDH, and you will see this was a cleanup attack. That's okay though, because my army is a little bit different than the previous attackers, and you'll see how this pans out. Like I said, 80% of the time she will not go into that first compartment. I apologize for my phone going off and the notifications, but 3 minions were dropped on the 4 to 5 area, helping keep that trash out of the way and keep my queen inside. You also saw a long wall breaker test all the way in. It was able to pop, so I knew at that point I could drop both of my wall breakers at the same time, because you do not want to space those out, because that wizard tower is right there. You drop both of them very quickly. That will allow them to get both of them in and continue the rest of the break, as long as nothing changes with the target lock on with the defenses that are in range. And just as I talked about before, I did not use my king to funnel. My king was brought in from 3 o'clock, and with that 3 o'clock Kiwi, look at how far it has gotten into the base. It has also lended me a second wall break to get in and get both of those air defenses. I have 56% of the base taken out, and there is 1 minute and 8 seconds left to take out the rest of the 40% of this base. both hound, or I'm sorry, the CC hound was dropped only because, oh, wow. Apologize, guys. Let me fast forward back to that. Uh, Forgot it was in a replay and not. Let's see here, right there. I apologize for that, guys. Um, but using that rage, I was able to get both through the rest of those air defenses, and the last camp hound, or just hound in the army composition, I used to bring in to distract both of those wizard towers, that archer tower, and I was able to get down the remaining defenses. With that, I have, probably 10 or 12 minions left out of the 18 I brought, from what it looks like. And I think both hounds as well. Absolutely crushed this base. And if you can use those tips, do not underestimate your minions. Make sure that the pathing they will have, and one thing I did not mention, which is a huge, just theoretical idea of TDH, is you want it to work like a wave through the base. And you want your queen to walk one side, and you want your Lalo portion, or Lalunian portion, and I've said Lalo so many times, it's Lalunian portion, to meet up kind of like a U on the backside of the base, or meet up with the Kiwi, something to that nature. I've found the most success with that. Because if your queen dies or your Lalunian portion dies, the other half of that attack, if it's still up, depending on how you walk your queen, could lend the initial benefit to provide initial additional tanking, come around that backside, and helping you clutch that 3-star. Having them go opposite directions of each other does work as well on some bases. But in these examples, I tried to keep everything as coordinated as I could to maintain a U shape. If you have any questions for me, let me know. And like I said, guys, the wall breakers is a huge point. Bring the wall breakers, don't bring a jump. 7 wall breakers is lucky, and you need 2 for each wall to break through under rage. Bring 4 rage, 1 haste, poison in the CC, and direct message me on Discord if you have any questions. Thanks, guys, and until next time, Cedar be out.